In this video, we're just going to answer some questions from the Q&A post from last Sunday. And if this is your first time finding one of my Q&A videos, please leave a question in the comment section of this video, and then next week on Sunday, I'll answer those questions in that Sunday's Q&A video. So I'm going to answer some questions in this video from last Sunday, and if you want your question answered, leave the comment in the comment section of this video, and we'll get to it then. Thanks.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in today's video, we're going to answer some questions from the community. And these questions come specifically from question and answer session number 2, recorded back on August 16th. Comments left in that video are the questions that we're going to answer today. So we're going to run through and answer questions as best as I can. The footage that's playing is just my gameplay footage from this morning. I recorded it just to see how fast I can get through my Facebook account with everything leveled up, complete tower unlock and all of that. So Sudhir asks, hey Charlie, I'm a mobile player. My question is, while leveling up a 3-star Titan, we get less sparks of power as compared to the same level 6-star Titan. Does it get compensated does it get compensated somehow, or is it better to get to 6 stars before leveling? So great question. The evolution of your Titans and your heroes will make up for the lost ground. So you absolutely do not want to wait until your Titans are 6 stars before you level them up, just to get those sparks of power. It's the same amount of sparks of power that you're going to get whether it's a 1-star or a 6-star hero. The path from level 1 star all the way up to level 120 6-star, you get the same amount of sparks of power. So go ahead and spend your resources, level up your Titans, no matter what evolution they are. Finkelzo asks, real question, why does the game keep my attacking team my attacking Titan team on Guild Wars, but not on cross-server wars, and this is on mobile? So that's a great question, Finkelzo, and I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't hit me with a dad joke question, but that's okay. That's actually a really good question that I don't know the answer to. I think it might have something to do with the structure of cross-server, considering how you're attacking people that are not on your server. Maybe the game doesn't know how to remember your attacking and defending team and all of that because of you're going and going to another server. But this is definitely a question that I'll ask the developers on my next email to them. This is a really good question. Seems like something I could easily fix. Jason Santiago, what level should I generally get my heroes to so they can be useful in Grand Arena? Really, I wouldn't pay too much attention to this, Jason. Grand Arena is extremely beneficial. Early on, you can get higher in Grand Arena than you can in Arena, so the rewards are fantastic. But until you have the resources to focus on more than one team at a time, I would just throw your second and third team XP potions as you can. Gold is such a rare resource early on, right? Until you get to around level 100, and there are some arbitrary things that you can consider. Things like, once you get your first team to level 100, maybe you can start on your second team. Once you get your first team to 300k power, then you start really focusing on your second team. There's a lot of different arguments about when and where to do that, but I would just say, focus on your main 5, and as you can, throw resources on those, heroes 6 through 10 and 11 through 15. That's kind of how I do. Okay, so Finkelzo, here's his dad joke. So here's a question. What's the leading cause of dry skin? The answer is towels. Okay, Postgoats. For the weapon artifact stat boost, when does it actually boost the different stats? For example, Cornelius's ultimate, his gray ability, Heavy Wisdom, takes a while to hit the target. So if there's an armor penetration buff that is active, does it have to be active when Cornelius first fires his Heavy Wisdom, or is it when it hits? Same question applies for all the stat boosts. And then it goes on to show the other things. Follow-up question is, when the hero ultimate, like Krista, will the stat boost take effect on the ultimate? From what I've seen, it is inconsistent for her. Is it the same for all heroes? I'm thinking it will be different. So a couple of questions here, I think that Cornelius's ability, the effect takes place when the damage is done. So if the stat boost, for example, armor penetration, isn't active, I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe it only matters when the damage numbers pops up. So if the damage numbers pops up as he casts it or when it actually hits, because, there are a couple of heroes in the game that have slow abilities, but I believe it's when it hits, not when it's casted. And your follow-up question, the ultimate will affect that ability. So Krista's ultimate, her artifact boost will affect her ultimate. And the same goes for, when Kira uses her ultimate, she's getting boosted. Ching Mao, Kark, everybody else. Gerardo Meza asks, why don't you make a video talking about the importance of leveling 1 or 2 more heroes alongside your main team so you can switch them when defending or attacking? Maybe some new players don't know about this. That's actually a great suggestion, Gerardo. So Gerardo is referring to the idea that Arena and Grand Arena, by extension, you have an attacking team and a defending team. And your attacking team of your main top 5 team may not always be the best 5 for defense. Okay, so case in point, on my main server, on my second server, I was leveling up Yasmin, and I still level up Yasmin, but I wouldn't use Yasmin on defense because Yasmin is an easy to counter hero. All an attacking team has to do is plug in an enemy Helios, and my Yasmin will be destroyed pretty fast. Yasmin is a critical hit physical attacking hero for those of you on mobile, and so I swap out Yasmin for another hero that I've leveled up kind of alongside my main team. That's actually a really great idea, Buck. I'm sorry, Gerardo. I'm sorry. That's a really great idea. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write that down and do a video on it. Buck Miller asks, I do thank you for all the great info I get from you. How do I defeat this team? Kane, Aurora, Celeste, Nebula, Orion, Martha. Well, the main thing you got to do is you got to control Orion and you got to control Aurora. Usually in that team, the Celeste is the big damage, but you've plugged in Orion instead. So I would kind of go about this 2 ways. You could do Rufus. You could try Rufus. Rufus tends to be okay against Orion, but man, Aurora is such a beast right now. You could use Chaba. You could use Satori. You could use Buck, I'm not sure. We're exploring a lot of different options on how to counter Aurora, and I'm not sure that there's a really good way yet. Sorry, I can't give you a clear answer on that. I'm really sorry. Valentin P asks, in a 5v5 match, the defender left only Jorgen alive, and also I think a healer, max versus max, and they survived for 1 minute or more defending versus the enemy 5 heroes that were alive the entire battle. So it ended in a draw. Do you think that only having 3 to 4 heroes in arena might work better than having 5? I think that there are some merits to that. I am concerned that you're effectively giving up 20% of your team to maybe have a little niche effect, and I'm not sure if that's better or worse. I have seen some pretty insane 4v5 fights, and Jorgen in particular is quite tanky. And there, I recently posted a 1v5 video with Lian, but she actually had Dorian as well. Dorian died, and his aura stuck around, which allowed Lian to continually self-heal while stunning the entire enemy team. If I wouldn't advise it. I would advise using all 5 heroes. If you want to get real tricky with it and show off and all of that, then try it out. Absolutely. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Caesar asks, if the ring of a hero increases the hero's main stats, why do you always recommend to upgrade their first artifact as soon as possible instead? Caesar, the reason why I recommend upgrading their first artifact is, first of all, I recommend getting it to 3 stars. And the reason why is because the first artifact for all heroes provides a team buff. In the case of Aurora, for example, she provides dodge for the entire team. Orion provides magic penetration for the entire team. But until you get it to 3 stars, it's not a 100% chance, meaning there is a chance that Orion or Aurora or whoever could use their ultimate ability and that artifact weapon buff will not apply to your whole team. So that's why I always recommend that first. The main stat, strength, intelligence, agility, isn't really the most important stat for any hero. It just isn't. It's better to work on the tertiary stats. Armor and magic defense for tanks, armor and magic penetration for damage dealers. It's just, there's better stats to upgrade. Tracy Walton asks, what team would you recommend to beat the level 13 Orion adventure boss? I can beat the level 11 in one shot with twins, Astaroth, Jorgen, Martha, Merlin as the main pet, but I cannot beat the level 13 one at a moment without hitting him 3 or 4 times. Best team so far has been Ju, Celeste, Martha, Cleaver, Kira with Merlin, but would love a new combo suggestion. So these adventure bosses are extremely tough. Extremely tough. And a couple of things that you need to keep in mind with them that might be affecting your team. First of all, the bosses are immune to energy reduction skills. So Jorgen is ineffective. Jorgen is completely ineffective against bosses in adventure. So you need to get rid of that. Excuse me. They cannot take more than 1% of their max health per hit. Right? So you need to having a hero that does, big spiky damage like Kark is not going to do well. I'm not sure how. I think the twins probably suffers from the same problem that my Kark does, in that, big spiky hits, even though the boss can only take 1% of max health at a time. So effectively, Kark would need to hit 100 times. And the debuff duration is decreased considerably as well on bosses. So any debuff, if your team relies on doing debuffs to the enemy, such as watermarks for the twins, then the effectiveness is going to be severely cut down. So adventure bosses, just to recap, are immune to energy reduction skills. Okay, so your Jorgen's kind of worthless. Any team that relies on debuffs are less effective as well. So the twins, for example, and no attack can damage the boss for more than 1% of their max health. So Kark, twins, anybody that does big hits like that, they're also ineffective. The best thing you can do is that Kira and that second team that you posted. Kira's doing a lot of small attacks very quickly. It's probably the way to go. The other side of it is, given that this is a magic damage dealing boss, if you're having trouble staying alive, then you need to focus on magic defense. You could use Thea. Thea's silence will work for a short amount of time, but also magic defense. You could try Rufus to block some of the damage, and that Rufus's shield doesn't really matter about the those boss buffs that I was just talking about. So yeah, lots of things you could do to change things up. Surya asks, I have a basic query. Qing Mao has an artifact weapon that gives armor penetration for the whole team. If yes, does that mean Ziri, the tank, also gets armor penetration despite not having it listed in the stats tab? That is actually 100% correct. In fact, my Aurora on my main dodge team provides dodge for the whole team, and it gives dodge. Aurora will give dodge to those heroes in my team that don't have dodge as a main stat, like, Lian and Celeste. So absolutely correct. Armor penetration, artifact buffs affect the entire team, even if they don't have the stat. While collecting fragments through raids, I've been raiding higher levels as I've run out of XP potions as well. However, I am burning a lot of energy per fragment. What is a better way to do this? Continue raiding higher levels for higher XP potions, fragments, or lower XP potions, more fragments for energy spent? Amit, great question. So the drop rates have been shown to be basically the same no matter how much mission energy costs. Okay, so it is better if you don't need the XP potions to do the cheapest mission possible for those fragments. It is absolutely better. And it's, you will end up, gaining a bunch of missions over time in that saved energy. Wasif asks, will you guys be my friends? I will be your best friends. Your best friends. Helmut asks, regarding pets, should we focus our investment in one single pet until reaching purple, or should we invest in 2 or 3 pets at a time to increase our main hero team benefit of patronage? Cheers. So personally, I focused on one pet to get that pet to Violet, and then I started on a second pet. But I can see the value in getting multiple pets to blue. Because blue is when you can patron, but Violet is you have to get Violet before the patron skill actually works. So getting blue patron gives you the boosted stats, but not the extra skill. So I can see it both ways. Personally, I focused on one pet. Pankaj asks, please let me know if my understanding is correct. Suppose I have 150 soul coins less for my Kark for his ultimate star. If I use his evolution booster, it will evolve Kark to ultimate star and give me 250 cross-server trophies back. That is 100% correct. 100% correct. So the whatever percentage of soul stones that you already have, Pankaj, you will get that percentage back in cross-server trophies. In fact, a really effective way to save gold is to use the evolution booster on heroes that have enough soul stones to evolve, but you don't want to spend the gold, so just use a book instead. So, okay, so we spent about 15, 20 minutes on this. I know there's a lot more questions here that needs to be answered. We'll start from the bottom next time. I can't quite get to everyone. Maybe I'll do a second Q&A later today. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Quick reminder, I do live stream Monday through Friday. I will be live streaming tomorrow at 12 Central Standard Time. That is 5 p.m. UTC. So I would love to see you all there. Not sure what we're going to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about how the Blues are out of the playoffs in hockey this year. It's kind of a sad thing. But until then, I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.